This is a recording of lesson 41-1. We are going to be looking at conditional probability. So we're starting on page 595. And the first thing that we have to do is fill out this chart. So they tell us that there are a total of 90 cranes, and then those 90 cranes are divided up into gray-crowned, white-naped, and Stanley. These are the three different types of cranes that there are at this conservation. So, of course, there are two different genders. There is male and female, and this is how many we have of each type. So they've kept very good records. So this is just asking us to say, okay, if we've got 16 male gray-crowned cranes and 13 female gray-crowned cranes, that's a tongue twister, how many total gray-crowned cranes do we have? So we just simply have to add that. And if my arithmetic is correct, I believe that's 29. And a total of 17 and 14, 17 males, 14 females of the white-naped. That's what, 20, 31. And 11 and 19 Stanleys, 11 males, 19 females. That gives me 10, 20, 30. It looks like a total of 30. And if you add all these up, that's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 right there. So we've got 90, a total of 90. The total number of males that we have is 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh, goodness, I'm messing up. So I'm going to grab my calculator. 44. And 13 and 14 and 19 would be 46. I used to, when I was your age, I would have been able to add that up without worrying about making a mistake, but not anymore. My brain is slowing down. Okay, so we completed the table by entering all the totals. So we know that probability is the desired event on top and out of the total on bottom. So we know that from our previous lesson. We want the desired event, the number of possibilities of the desired event on top, and the total choices on bottom. So here they're telling us, right here, they're telling us, now this is where it gets a little bit confusing, because a lot of students are going to want to say, oh, there's a total of 90 cranes, so we're going to put that on bottom. But what they're telling us right here is that we don't want to consider the males, because they at the beginning of this question, they tell us that we've selected a female. So our total sample space, and that should be the total sample space. Our sample space for this is just going to be females, because they tell us that we know that we've got a female. So our total sample space is just the number of females. And now the desired event is, what's the chances that it is a Stanley? So the number of Stanleys that they are go on top. Okay, so the desired event is that it's a Stanley crane, but we're only selecting from the females. Now, this one looks like it may be a different question. However, it's not. It's the exact same question. It says calculate the probability that a crane is a Stanley crane given that it's a female. So this terminology right here is just another way of saying the exact same thing right here. And they're going to use both terminologies throughout this lesson. So the way that we write this, and this is, I think, what's coming up, this is still going to be, we're looking for a Stanley crane, and we know that it's a female, so our total sample space is going to be just the female cranes. Okay, so those are the same answers. And here it explains to you that this is considered a conditional probability because we have a known condition, and the known condition is that it's a female. Not choosing from all the cranes, just the female ones. Okay, and here's the way it would be written. This is the using the word still. Find the probability that we get a Stanley crane. That sign right there, that up and down sign, that represents the word given, that it's female. Okay, and so when you see this right here, when you see this notation, here's how you read it. The probability of a Stanley crane given that it's female. Okay, that's how you would read it. Okay, so we move on, and it says write the probabilities using probability notation. So we don't have to find anything, they just want us to write it. The probability that a crane is male, so we're looking for a male, that's my desired event, given that it is a gray-crowned. So I think we used G for gray-crowned. Okay, so that's how you would write that. Now, they don't ask us to actually find it, but we could. I guess that's maybe probably part of the lesson that's going to be a little bit later. Here they're wanting us to just go on. But what we would do here, given that it's gray crowned, we would look at the total number of gray crowns that we have. The total number of gray crowns, that would be this one right here. We know that it's a gray crown. Okay, so 29 is going to be the number on bottom. And what are the chances are that it's male? So 16 over 29 would be what would go right here. 16, that's the number of males, gray crowns that we have, just 29. I don't think I'm supposed to be doing the actual probability. Let me see real quick. No, we're just supposed to be writing the probabilities. Okay, the probability that a crane is a gray crown crane. So we're looking for the gray crown cranes, given that it's male. And these are not the same answers. It's different. Here, we would only be looking at the male populations. The male populations would be on bottom, and the gray crown's going to be on top. Find the probability that a randomly selected white-naped crane is female. So here they've changed the words, and they didn't use the word given, okay? That's a little bit different. So you kind of have to find where it's implied. We're finding the probability that a randomly selected, so what they're telling us right here, we're telling us that this is the given. Find the probability that a crane is female. Find the probability that it's female. So we're looking for the probability that something is female, given, and here it tells us what's given that it's a white-naped crane. And I guess we'll use the letter W. So this one is the given is implied. So you have to be careful about finding that implied given right there, okay? So we're to a point to where you should check your understanding. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now, and I'll start the next video with the answers to this. Check your understanding.